Things in Toronto are heating up, and I'm not just talking about the temperature. It is Lisa Blow, it is Jeff Bratch with you here on the set of Woodbine Racing Live. Sports fans are in their absolute glory right now because the Jays start off with their series against the Yankees tomorrow, and we have the Turf Fall Showcase taking place on tomorrow and on Sunday's card of racing as well. What a time to be alive.
And Keeneland is opened up as well. That's always a good sign that fall is right around the corner. NFL is alive and kicking. So many big things to be excited about. But yes, we are pumped about tomorrow's 11 race program. Lots of great horses that you're going to see on the card tomorrow.
Bit of an oddity on today's card that I found, because I just look for this type of stuff, but all our races on the all-weather are sprints. All our races on the inside turf course are 2 turns.
Imagine that.
Yes, so just a bit of an oddity. And yesterday here at Woodbine, there was some tough sledding for myself and Miss Elisa. We were trying to drive a car with no freewheel drive and about 50 feet of snow, and we were spinning our wheels.
We sure were. A lot of our second picks were winners on the program yesterday, but as you pointed out, and I'm not using this as an excuse, but as you had pointed out, they did put some extra surface down on the track as well, so I just wonder if some horses kind of struggled maybe through it a little bit more, and some horses just didn't have any problems. It's nice to see some barns turning the corner. Stu Simon with a nice win with Regal Moment. We weren't sure about him because of the post position. Kakoa for Catherine Day Phillips. That barn's starting to heat up. Same can be said for Eddie Catryan, as he had a nice winner on the program yesterday too.
Now, if you're like Elisa and I, and you have no idea what post time is anymore, we're going to update everybody to try and tell you exactly what is going on. So tomorrow, post time is going to be 1:25, which means that the pregame show is going to get underway at 12:25. We're going to have a bit of a longer pregame show because we want to take an in-depth look at all 3 of the big races taking place on the inside turf course.
Cool beans, that sounds good. So I've set my alarm for that. Then what time do we race on Sunday?
Sunday we're back to 1:05.
Okay, and then next Thursday we're back to the 5:30, the 4:30, and then
see, you've dropped the ball again.
Oh, I forgot we're not doing next Thursday.
No Thursday.
Oh, Jeff, I'm lost.
I know.
Okay.
As I say when I just get overwhelmed, one day at a time.
That's right.
One day at a time.
Put
so
one
today,
foot
when the
in front
first
of the
race gets
other.
underway in 50 minutes, we told you the post time for Saturday and Sunday. No racing on Thursday. The reason for that is because we're going to have a Thanksgiving/Columbus Day program. So we'll have the 4:30 card next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 1:05. Don't worry, we will constantly tell you what the post time is, not only for you, but for us that work here, because we try to stay on top of things too. And as Lisa said, and you're so bang on when you said this, because you have a much further commute than I do, I literally lay in bed for about 5 minutes saying, what time do I have to leave tomorrow?
I know. It just drives me nuts. I get on the phone, I check, I'm like, okay, an hour and a half. That's not bad. So then I back up my time. And then I always, no matter what, seem to run into an accident at some point. And there's lots of other people that come in from the Niagara region, same as me, because that's where, the other racetrack is, Fort Erie. So, if you aren't here at Woodbine, you're over there. And if you're there, you have a commute. I pass horse trailers too, Jeff, and I always know that they're headed our way too. And I'm thinking to myself, geez, I hope you're in a late race because you might be taking a little bit of time.
Well, guess what? If you're not familiar with Toronto, traffic here is
horrible.
Awful. It is and it's getting worse.
Everybody talks about California traffic being the worst. Ours
now
is
we're talking
awful.
about tunnels under the 401.
Tunnels and all that stuff, and then 100,000 people coming into the city in one day, and then of course they decide not to operate the GO train on that day. I mean, it's insane. But yes, tomorrow's a big program. The Jays are going to be what a lot of us are going to be watching tomorrow. We should wear blue tomorrow for the Jays.
Well, you know what? If it was, maybe Sunday we'll do that.
Okay, Sunday maybe.
Because we have to wear our fancies tomorrow.
Yes, it's the last fancy day of the year, as far as I'm concerned.
Race 2 will be the first one as we get the clock going right now, and this will take place on the inside turf course. We're going to skip the opener. This is an optional claim. We're not winners of 2 races lifetime, and I'm always curious what your topics are. And you have Surge here in this spot, so I assume that you're going to focus in on somebody that was making up some considerable ground late in the race. I think the scratch O'Connor is significant. I like that horse a little bit dropping down in class, and we scratched the 11, that being riding for purse money, who was a MTO, as we like to say. We've got a hot barn in the Catherine Day Phillips barn, that being Weller Green, who's lightly raced so far this season, but The surge. Who are we talking about here? The surge that we've got to keep an eye on, courtesy of the replay.
Talking about a couple actually in this race. Now, Surge is the chart line on the one horse, Private Label, but I want you to watch not only Private Label, who's the 2, but watch the horse at the back of the bus. This horse gives you a good late surge as well, and this is Stratus. So watch the trip from Stratus. Now, he was last, back of the bus. Cunis, of course, came back to race in the breeders, and unfortunately, something just went awry with Cunis in that race. I'm sure he'll dance another dance, though, before the year is out. But watch the late kick. He's on the far outside Stratus. And then, of course, watch Private Label, because this horse is going to get ping-ponged around. He's the 2 horse, and he looks like he's clear right now. But guess who comes to him? The sexiest horse on the backstretch. Jagger's Got a Gun ran a massive race to end up getting the win. And of course, our horse, Private Label, finishes second. You'll see Jagger's Got a Gun on the program on Sunday. Stratus ends up finishing 5th with that wide trip. And then I included Weller Green as well, because Weller Green, now I thought we'd get a better reference from Philip My Wine, but he didn't really show us the good stuff yesterday. So it's a 1-3-2 for me. You're going to use the 9, though, that being Thor's Cause. And it took Thor's Cause a long time to get that maiden win out of the way, but you think the horse could bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, the race prior to that was second against that former Baffert horse, Zabel, that ran very, very well on that particular occasion. Now, I do have a question for you in regards to Private Label, because I find this things that make you say, never run for the tag. Doesn't have to run for the tag today, but all of a sudden they go in for the claiming price. Now, how do you read that? Do you think that this is a 4-year-old that they're looking at the end of the campaign, if we lose the horse for 40, so be it? Or is this a bit of a negative from a handicapper's point of view?
Do you remember that this was the horse that Rachel Halden ran a condition above what the horse was eligible for, and we talked to her about it, and she said...
Didn't make it to the races until a 4-year-old campaign too, so they're trying to maybe maximize the profit.
Yeah, and she said, look, my owners pay the bill to keep this horse all winter long. The horse doesn't make me any money sitting in the barn. And then, of course, the horse came back out of that to go back into maidens and get that maiden score 2 races later. But I just feel like it's the same thing. The opportunity's there. How much more grass are we going to have? We've been really, really lucky that we have perfect conditions so far, but I think they're calling for some rain next week. And then, as you know, Jeff,
it
gets really thin.
Listen, the uphill stables, they've done very well with this horse. They paid just $6,000, but you're right. They had to pay, the 2-year-old campaign, 3-year-old campaign, and then into the 4-year-old campaign as well. 14, that's our next topic. And Blackjack, here's a trick question for you. If you get 14, do you hit?
There is a rule about this. I think
you can't.
You shouldn't hit above a 15, right? If you get 15, you shouldn't hit?
Depends on what the dealer has, technically. Because if the dealer has, say, 13, you stay. But if the dealer has a face card, you've got to hit.
Listen, Blackjack, that's kind of my go-to when I go to the casino. But I'm one of those people that people go, oh, man. They get mad at me because I say hit, or, it takes me a while to get the rules back, and then I start to get angry at people for hitting, too.
You know what's interesting about this race is not only do we have a field of 14, but 11, 13, and 14 are post positions for a horse that are ultra live in this race too, and they get tricky draws.
I know, but then yesterday we saw Stu Simon's horse with the far outside draw that we didn't use because of the outside draw end up getting the win. Now this race is on the main track though, but I would agree. The livest horses in the race have the worst post positions to work with, that being the 11, 13, and 14. No offense to the 12 horse, but I like the 11 up on top, Graffiti Rider, because you get that, it's a monstrous drop. Hello.
It is.
And then you get the 14, El Diablito, who took him forever to get to the races, right? He didn't start racing until he was 5 years old, but he got a really nice maiden win for $15,000. And then you get Guard of Honor, the Devin Gittins runner, who tries. I mean, this horse has actually done pretty well in the last few efforts, but has been traveling around 2 turns and now gets the cutback here today. But look at this. Like, it's very unusual to see all of us going with colors, numbers that you almost never see. How many times do you see a 13? How many times do you see a 14? And look, a lot of us are looking at 13s, 14s, and 11s. They just got the worst draw. As far as post positions are concerned. I mean, the only horse I like that has a better post position is the 6, and that's Monday Morning for Deb Rhombus.
Just the draw, and the 7 furlongs like from Monday Morning as well. Okay, I got another trivia question for you with El Diablito.
Okay.
What do you make of this? They win for 15.
Yeah.
Then they vet scratch for 25, and now they're in for 7,000.
Well, don't forget, he didn't hit the races until 5. So there obviously was an issue with him that took him away from the races at 2, at 3, at 4. You know.
And now you get a stinky draw.
And now you get a stinky draw.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess here's the thing. Could you have scratched and gone somewhere else? If there was a race somewhere, like maybe you could have got out to go somewhere else?
I think if there was another race you wanted to go into.
Yeah, like for Thursday, but I don't know. I mean, I guess you just...
Racing.
Oh, right.
We are not racing next
Jeff,
Thursday.
Unbelievable.
I will text you Thursday morning.
Do not go to work. Okay, there you go. I just think, there's a few in this race, including the Chirkop horse that's on the drop, that might just be a bit of hot potatoes this time of year too.
Host duel. There's a video game called Mortal Kombat, and I would say round 1, fight. So you and I were gonna fight right now because we have the dueling battle in here, and you have the minor upsetter, and I have a repeat threat. So who is your minor upsetter here in race 5?
Who else? Ron Sadler, right? He's got Highland Society in this race. He's a good old guy. When he's in this condition back in July, he wins the race on that day. And then after that, they tried the 10, the starters and all that stuff like that. But he's back in here, offered up for the same price tag at the same distance that he won at back in July. So I'm headed that direction. Where did you go?
Do you have any concerns that maybe his form's starting to slip a little, or is it just because he's been facing tougher?
Maybe because he's been facing tougher. I mean, Mr. Holden's rattled off a number of wins. And same with Napa Spirit's a pretty nice horse too.
And I have question marks with my pick. Like I'm picking Executive Search, who was a vet scratch on September the 19th. I just think for this price tag, I might be able to win yet again. The barn continues to roll at 40. They've become a little quieter at Woodbine. But I'm going to go towards Executive Search. But I would definitely use Highland Society. And then you've got Winston Blue, who again is using the same playbook as Highland Society, just dropping all those optional 10s to go back in for $7,500.
Yeah, this is his class. He can win in here as well. He gets Pietro Moran aboard for Willie Armada. The other one I tossed in, just for a fun horse to toss in, is the 7 Classic Dancer, because you know what? Carl DeFreitas
running much better.
I know.
Yeah.
And Carl only rides this one horse, so it's a project horse for them. Looks like a family horse as well. And good for them. They've been able to get 2 nice second place finishes. I could see this horse being a bit of an upsetter today.
I remember when they claimed him, they dropped him right off the bat for 7,500. He finished 6th in the field of 6, losing by 13 lengths. I was like, they're going to beat this one. But it's turned things around,
Yeah, it looks like they had to go back to the drawing board a little bit, but whatever they've figured out, it's working because the horse is running well as of late.
So 6.5 furlongs there for race 5. Let's bank the 6 seconds and get to the rematch. I love rematches. I was looking at the noms for the Ontario Derby to see if Tom's Magic.
No,
he didn't go in though.
But we get the plate winner and we have the Prince of Wales winner.
So that'll
hopefully,
be fun.
That'll be fun.
That could have actually championship implications.
Could do.
Because you would think right now for Champion Thrill, Van City would be the front runner.
Right now,
right?
yeah.
But that could change.
Yeah.
Now, British Artillery is one that I quite liked last time out. They took the horse off of Lasix. He loomed into contention and flattened out.
Yep. But guess what, Jeffy? He's back on Lasix
exactly.
tonight.
You think that explains why we're back on Lasix
I think so, and that's why I'm going to use the horse in the top spot. If you watch this replay, you're going to find all sorts of horses coming out of this September the 5th race. British Artillery will end up finishing in 5th. That's the Pink Silks. You see that, the 9 horse there. Sooner Lunar runs much better, I think, on the grass with a 4th place effort. You get a Warren Charge, who finishes 2nd on this day with the Yellow Silks on, and even King Elvis is in the race as well. He finished 3rd. You'll see him with the Chickadance colors there on the rail. So a lot of these horses are back for the rematch here today. I think there's quite a bit of speed for some of these horses to chase down, that being speed from Catch a Tiger, speed from Warren Charge possibly. And, I thought maybe Jaybird might show up here today, but he's out. So with the blinkers on, I thought he might show a little bit of speed too, but he's out. King Elvis likes to go up near the front end. So I was kind of hoping that with British Artillery getting back onto the Lasix program, this race could set up for this one to sit in a nice tracking position and come with a run.
Why do you think, do you have any theory as to why they've gone on and off and back onto Lasix with this horse? Does he maybe... does he thump maybe a little bit?
He might get a reaction to it, and so they said, forget it.
It is, but I guess you weigh the pros and the cons, I guess.
Yeah, and hey, it's an experiment. You take them off and try. It's like people who take the blinkers off, put the blinkers on, right? It's the same thing. Just try something. It's an experiment. Obviously, maybe it didn't materialize the way they hoped into getting back onto the
Now, I
program
must
today.
admit, I don't know the rule here, but I think in Standardbred racing, you have to be on for a certain number of days on Lasix, don't you?
I don't know what the Standardbred rule is before it can come off.
Here it seems easier to maybe
come off and on. Yeah, but anyways, the point being, he's back on it today, and you know.
He has run his best races with it recently.
Exactly. Yeah. And look, he's been off of it. Back in 2023, they left him off of it for the entire time.
Yep.
So maybe he's not a horrible bleeder. Maybe he just has a little
Or maybe
tickle.
they thought, you know what, it's getting cooler. We can maybe take him off of Lasix.
That can help.
You know, that's a possibility. Who knows? We're just speculating.
We're just
here.
guessing.
We're filling time. Jackpot I-5 finale goes as race number 7. And we're going to go with 7,500 claimers, 6.5 furlongs. And the carryover is now at $22,000. Midday Image had a bit of a failed journey down at the fort, so that one looking to bounce back. Military Force, not really the horse's distance. You can see where I'm kind of going with this type of race. Super Iconic, skip into condition. Thus, Elise and I, we do not agree a lot on today's program, but we do have a long shot that we both quite like here coming up in race 7.
And that's Cut 'em Loose, the Devin Gittins runner, because again, I think some of the better horses in the race have the worst post positions, and that is Midnight Arkle and Cut 'em Loose. Cut 'em Loose comes in off of an easy win. That was back on September the 5th, and you get a hot barn. You get a rider who does very well for this outfit as well. So I'll use the 10 over the 9, who's been, you look, if you like the 9, you've cashed on tickets using this horse in your tries and your supers because he loves to finish second and third. It's win that's a little bit of a problem, but guess what? He had his picture taken with Robert, and that means he'll likely win tonight.
And Robert had a picture, was it named Cocoa yesterday, Mike?
I think he was with Cocoa.
Yeah, I think he was with Cocoa.
Was he? No, he wasn't. He was with Sylvain Pion's horse.
Oh, that's right.
Remember
But
that.
he does have Cocoa in the database because he tweeted it afterwards. Yeah, this database is getting rather large, as a matter of fact. Here's Barry.
Yep.
With Midnight Arkle. Looks like Midnight Arkle is quite fond of Barry.
Of course he is. Barry feeds him.
Yeah,
gives him
okay.
treats.
Yeah, so it was Wagner yesterday. That's right. Thanks.
That's right. Coherence is another horse I tossed into the mix here. You get Munger for Willie Armada, and then I used the 3. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I just feel like they thought, well, let's go to Fort Erie and get him on the dirt. And he should. The old Midday Image probably would have destroyed that group.
I just don't think the wheels can spin very fast anymore, unfortunately. And he's made a lot of money. He deserves a great retirement once his racing career. He's a horse still.
I know. That makes it tricky, coming from a person who has rehomed many racehorses. When they're 8 and they're stallions, you're going to have to cut them because not every show barn wants a stallion, or every hobby farm wants a stallion in their barn.
Do you want plays of the day?
Oh, sure.
Okay, we got those for you.
Okay.
Plays of the day, and you're going to go first because our plays of the day did so well yesterday.
Yeah, we were stinkers yesterday. Can't even blame it on a full moon. Okay, so overcoming the post position, El Diablito.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I win? That's who I put up on top? That's my second pick. I'm getting all confused. You know what I think I did? I think I originally had some different numbers, and then I changed them around.
Well, you know what you've done now? It's called covering your bases. Because if you have the worst your play of the day, if the worst wins, if you have the worst pick second.
I think I wanted the 14 on top.
Why don't we compromise? We'll do win in place for that overcome post.
Yeah, but I think I sent in the wrong numbers. I think I should have sent in 14, 11. Because I'm looking at I took that Chirkup dropper. Okay, but now I'm like, all right,
this show is
we
totally
did handicap
gone off the
this
rails.
quite a number of days ago. Midnight Society's my minor upset. British Artillery getting back on Lasix and Cut 'em Loose in the last.
Poor graphics operator Laura's up there pulling her hair out.
What does she want?
My best bet of the day is going to be Royal Entry right now on the board at 4-1. Harold dropped Voices from Above the other day. That one won a pop. And I'll tell you more about why I like the 8 coming up a little bit later on. My price play is going to be Monday morning. I guess technically for us, that's what, Thursday mornings?
What's that now? Monday morning is Thursday morning, yes.
Yeah.
But not this Thursday.
No, it's not this Thursday. Repeat thread is Executive Search, and my long shot's going to be Cut 'em Loose. What about those that are far more professional than Lisa?
What about
Doug
that?
McPherson, British Artillery, Ron Lex King Albert, all the battling best bets. Dun, dun, dun. Sounds like a side wager between those two guys. And Woodbine TV Broad says, you know what? We like the old timer, that being Military Force. Clocker reports. We've got one for you coming up in race number 5. And this horse will strike every once in a while. Doesn't win as often as he used to, and this is Kid Forster. And we'll keep a keen eye on the kid. Going postward for conditioner Kieran Palmer. This one a good price on the line at odds of 8-1. Had a good rally last time. It went second against Valley Victory. That was
oh, yes, we talked
Cheyenne
about that
Kerr
one.
dropper,
Yep,
right?
in the Todd Kettleson.
Yes.
And you're going to see Valley Victory back in the entries this weekend, right?
Right. Should be running back into form off that good run last time out and has a solid work as well. So that's a look at our lone clocker horse for today. Let's take a break.
Yeah, well, let's reset, Jeff.
Reset a little bit. We're going to catch up with Roberts.
Oh, good.
Because he's got his green thumb, which means he can talk a little turf with us.
Oh, maybe he'll have plants upstairs in the studio, too.
You never know. Never know, because plants made an appearance last week. We'll talk about the Fall Turf Showcase coming up after this commercial break. You're watching Woodbine Racing Live.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
At Woodbine, the grasses grow side by side in a blanket spread so vast, so wide. An international race for the world to contend, a moment in history waiting to be penned. With thundering hooves, they come rolling abound. In nature's arms, victory is found.
Desmond Carter is bursting between runners. What a ride!
October 4th is the Fall Turf Showcase. Watching on Sportsnet, you should embrace.
Nation's Pride is now asked to wrestle up in second and battling away as Adamo, but it's a two-horse war at the moment, and Royal Champions lead being whittled down gradually, a length and 3/4. Nation's Pride coming on. Nation's Pride coming with every stride, getting the leader now, and Nation's Pride's taken over and will come away and win the Canadian International. A very impressive display, and it's William Buick and Nation's Pride 2.5. Royal Champion a gallant second, 6 away Adamo third, then Palazzi English Conqueror starting over.
Nation's Pride looking to repeat in their national. That was from 2 years ago, and it was a colder day. You could tell there. Then it's going to be coming up on the weekend here at Woodbine, and Team Godolphin looking for a hat trick when it comes to this very prestigious race. The guy that's called the races recently has the green thumb upstairs, and his name is Robert Geller. He is our track announcer with us here at Woodbine. He's going to show up right now in a jacket and suit that looks very summery.
But sans geranium. There is no geranium.
No. What happened, Robert?
Well, I have to put the geranium right in the heart of the sun, a little
Okay.
further across, a little bit too shady here. So just wanted to showcase that we are doing pretty well
lovely.
with these plants upstairs.
We are.
Nonetheless,
You're doing
it's a
very well.
magnificent endless sunshine fall, as I do think we're blessed with a terrific day tomorrow.
Yes.
Let's touch on these races tomorrow. We'll start off with the New Arctic Stakes presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. Bring the band home. Obviously, Robert is the horse to beat. You are always known as a guy that only likes chalk in the classroom, because when you see chalk on the tote board, you tend to run very, very fast. Where are your thoughts here in the New Arctic Stakes presented by TAA?
I did go with the chalk. I think this horse is really in the zone. We did see this runner here last season. It was disappointing to some extent, but I do feel has really turned things around. I look at the record, it's spectacular in terms of frequency of wins and recency, and Javier Castellano back on board, and I do think 5 furlongs suits. So is my top pick. I did pick Bring the Band Home to win the race, but it is a wide open affair, and I give a lot of chances. I thought No Nay Hudson would be value. I don't think you'll get 12 to 1. I think Pablo Morales has a very live mount, and Wesley Ward always attracts a lot of interest. And I was interested to know just how you feel about the Striking Viking, because there's a horse that's such a mystery as a young horse. And No Balls, I'm not sure if this is exactly the best spot, because very dangerous, but I'm not sure if the form is as good as it was last time around.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you know what, Robert, I was looking at the replay with the Striking Viking, and Elisa, we're going to have to keep an eye on this. Got very hot in his last start.
And it's going to be a hot day tomorrow.
Really hot tomorrow. So, and the distance is going to be a bit of a question mark for him as well. But he looked very good in the mornings here, getting ready. You know, just obviously you're not going to do any works here because it's so close to race day, but...
Yeah, but at least he gets on the Lasix program. That's going to help. And it's not too often we see them come in from Germany either.
Yes, so that is true. Robert, have you ever called a race in Germany?
No, I haven't, but I've been often followed the races there because some of those horses would go to the Melbourne Cup and run really well, including horses that have won from there, so especially at Baden-Baden. But it is an intriguing circuit. We've had some horses even from here that have eventually got across to run here.
Yeah, a lot of international horses have come via Germany.
You're going to show the replay too, right, tomorrow?
We are, the Bet365 Dance Smartly Stakes goes a mile 16th on the inside turf course. Do you guys think this is the best shot for a local to win on the program tomorrow? I'll start off with you, Robert. I mean, certainly Caitlin, her greatness, Ready for Sure, low prices on the line. Do any of these out-of-towners scare you a little bit?
It is wide open. I think they have a very good chance, the locals. It's just that, for me, I've just been a little bit off when Caitlin has been in her best form, and I seem to zig when she zags and so on. But I did think Ready for Shill comes in fresh. I'm not sure how she'll do with the Bet365 in a turf, but I do like some of the horses that are from the States. I quite like the inside runner a little bit. Breath Away seems to have needed the second run back. 2 starts ago, I should say, was a bit of a freshener up and then came out with a win. I think just has a really nice strike rate. I think could be a value play. And I'm not sure about Mofox Giving. I think could be interesting. But my pick will be, I think Ready for Shell is very dangerous, beating home Caitlin Her Greatness on the EP Taylor back earlier. But I do think the inside might be the value play for me.
You know, Ron brought up a great point in his article tomorrow in the Racing Forum. I want to say this could have sovereign implications. Say Ready for Cheryl wins this race. She might be the front runner for champion filly and mare turf horse.
I put her up on top, but one thing we've learned about Caitlin, courtesy of talking to Kevin so much about her, is that she wants 2 turns. Yeah. She doesn't as much as they've tried her on the EP Taylor turf course, she really wants 2 turns. And she got her 2 turns. Last start out in the Matron on the main track, and she looked like her old self again, didn't she?
And she got hammered at the windows as well. Let's get to the big one now, Robert. This is the Canadian International. $750,000 guaranteed on the line as we get set to go a mile and a half. And it's a case of deja vu, isn't it, my friend, Mr. Geller? Last week we were talking about the post position being a challenge for Tom's Magic. He overcame that. Look who gets the outside draw here in the race tomorrow on the outside, that being Nation's Pride.
Absolutely. It is intriguing that both Haunted Dream has the rail, Nation's Pride the outside, and you know, it had a definite effect on the results on Woodbine Mile Day, I felt. But I do think Haunted Dream's very interesting. I really quite like the chances of Haunted Dream winning this race, given the experience on the course, and also just the fact that has seemingly come in relatively fresh still, and I think could be dangerous to win again. Nation's Pride certainly going to get top spot in betting. Could be beatable. I do think it will be close, and I give a chance to some of the locals as a surprise packet. I think that Rachel's horse will run very well, English Actor.
You know, he's got such personality, this gelding.
So much presence.
He's so cool. I remember when I saw him schooling, and then I saw him in the paddock prior to the race. And you can just tell when some horses are characters. Yeah. And he's got a lot of personality.
I saw him on the backstretch, and I didn't know who it was, and I was, immediately like, who is that? He is very, very striking, and you can tell he's a bit of a camera hog too. I mean, wow. But there's lots to look at here in Toronto too in the morning for training. It's not very quiet here in the morning, right?
The airport's so busy.
The airport, and then you've got lots to look at, with the Tbred paddock, and then of course the hotel as well. But yeah, we got a chance to get some camera people out to watch the horses going for a nice easy gallop in the morning. I think this was from This was from yesterday.
Nation's Pride yesterday.
And they were going out to see some others this morning too, but I put Haunted Dream up on top. I think the start over the surface is what's going to be key, because this horse has already shown us that he likes the inner turf
and
course.
had post one as well. The thing with Nation's Pride gets on the Lasix, which I kind of like a little bit. What do you make, Roberts? Listen, Mark Hasse knows more about horse racing than I'll ever know. But with My Boy Prince, you know, they really kind of backed up the campaign with this horse and kind of focused in on, you know, 6 furlong mile races. Now all of a sudden we go a mile and a half. I wonder if that's only, Robert, because we're on the inside turf course and he thinks maybe this horse might get a little bit brave. What do you think?
I think he's dangerous because I look at the field and I don't think there's a lot of speed in it. I do think a lot of these horses are deep closers. I think he could really be dangerous. I think that if he's left alone and he can control his tempo and be able to get less pressure than perhaps he's had, I think in a mile and a half he could sneak a little bit of a break on them. I do think he's a chance because I don't think that there are a lot of horses that want to be up front.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, English Actor might show a little bit of pace. And then you got Tawny Port, who's made $2 million, Elisa. But this guy has not won in such a long, long time. And all of a sudden he wakes up at the Farmer Field,
Kentucky Downs, which not every horse likes.
Yeah, exactly. But this horse clearly liked it. Will the horse like these tighter turns coming up on tomorrow's program?
Yeah, I know. It's it's funny when you watch Kentucky Downs. Like they have to, you know, do this. Like and there's great excuses if your horse doesn't like that course. But if your horse does, there's good money to be made down there too.
Yeah. Roberts, fantastic catching up with you yet again. I must admit, I'm a little bit worried about your green football team, the New York Football Giants. Or Jets, I should say.
You know what? I have a really strong feeling they're going to win against Dallas. I'm very confident. I think that they are doing extremely well, despite what the score reflects. They've lost 3 games by less than a touchdown, and they are going to surprise everyone. Watch out. Justin Fields is fitting in. They're building
I got
a
to
team.
keep that. That's going to help me out. Jets. I got to think about that for the pool.
Yep.
JETS.
I am very faithful.
Roberts, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Robert Geller, our track announcer here. Forever, they could be 0-15 and be like, you know what, I think today's the day.
The glass is always half full with
true.
Robert.
You should be a Leaf fan like me. This is the year. That's why I missed to go before race 1. When we come back, we get you all set for the opener from Woodbine on a beautiful Friday for racing.